Hello, this is Andrew Truco with Emerson Swan. I am part of the Applied Products Plumbing Group. We're at the Portland International Jetport. Today we're looking at nVent heat trace. The reason we're doing this video is to give you an idea of what it's like out in the field where the heat trace is actually going to be installed. From there, we will have hammer drill interruptions because this is a live work site. This is what it's like out in the field. This is real life. Normally you're going to be looking at Bluebeam or on blueprint drawings, and they're going to be a flat line drawing. But I wanted to show you what it looked like in real life. What we're looking at here is freeze protection for a potable cold water line that's going out to a jetway where they can refill the water tanks on the planes when they come in. This particular job uses what's called an ECWGF. It's an electronically controlled thermostat that is measuring the outdoor temperature, and then 40 degrees displayed there is when it's going to come on to prevent the pipe from freezing. It's got a 30 milliamp ground fault rating. It's not going to immediately go into fault. It's actually going to let the system amp a little high just to see if it'll come back down into the amp range. But if it doesn't, it will actually trip a breaker. Line voltage comes from the electrical panel, and then line voltage comes out of the controller to this power connection kit. This is called a Raychem. On the left side is where the line voltage comes in. On the right side is where it connects to the actual cable. Along with that cable is the thermistor cable that's running down the pipe that's going to actually measure the ambient or outside air temperature. This is a self-regulating cable. It is not constant wattage. The pipe is insulated all the way down the entire run. And what happens is when we hit 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside or lower, the cable will actually energize. Now we're on the exterior of the building. We're actually in Portland, Maine, where the ambient temperature can regularly get down to -20 Fahrenheit. Orange XL trace coming out of the pipe, taped to the pipe every few feet just to support it there, and that way it can reject its energy into the pipe. Right here we see the temperature sensor monitoring the ambient temperature of the air or the outdoor air temperature. It will be mounted up to this piece of unistrut right up there and secured and protected with some kind of metal jacket. Right here you can see the pipe disappearing into the white fiberglass insulation, and then the pipe is even protected more because this is a very hostile environment with an aluminum jacket. So this is an early example of the heat trace process. The controller, in this case an ECWGF, GF standing for ground fault protection, is pre-mounted. We've got our junction boxes where line voltage comes up and connects to the controller. Line voltage will connect in this junction box right here to the whip that is connected to the Raychem power connection kit. In here, we're in conditioned space. This pipe will be insulated, but there's no chance of freezing in here. However, going through the floor, that is where we're going to go out into the harsh environment where we have to protect the cable from freezing. So on this connection, what's going to happen is the heat trace is going to connect right here, XL trace, just like in this picture here. We're going to do a service loop. We'll come out, we'll loop it up, and then go down on the pipe. The service loop is very important because if we do have a situation where there's a mistake made or something happens to the cable where it's compromised and there's a ground fault, we have to remake the connection. And the service loop gives the installer plenty of extra cable to make a connection if need be. The last piece is the end seal. This end seal completes the circuit and prevents any ground fault. We're now coming out of the insulation, coming to a termination where they've looped a whole bunch of heat trace here because the job's not done yet. There's going to be a water box here where they're going to be controlling the flow going out to the aircraft. Even though the system is completely energized, the cable is cool because the ambient temperature is above 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's actually 67 degrees right now. In here you have the two bus wires, and in between there is a self-regulating polymer that is embedded with carbon atoms. And the way it works is when it's warm out, the molecules are disorganized between the cables, and it does not allow for heat to jump across the cables. But when it gets cold, the molecules concentrate and organize and come together and create a bridge for the heat to jump across the cable. So why is that important when you're rolling cable up on top of each other? It's important because with a self-regulating cable, the chances of you ever overheating the cable and possibly having a fire risk are nil. If you have any questions at all, you can reach out to me or anyone on the AP team at Emerson Swan. Check us out at emersonswan.com. Signing off.